Welcome to episode 8 of Euro Previews, and today's episode is on the nation that always overperforms, and that is Croatia. Croatia, as we know in World Cups, are absolute beasts. But in the Euros, they have never reached the 5th game at a European Championship. Can this talented side do it once again? Can their midfield carry them? Can the defense be strong? And what about the attack? Who will get the goals? Joining me in today's episode is Lovre from Croatian Footy Podcast. Remember to check out Croatian Footy Podcast on all platforms. The link to their Twitter and their podcast is in the description down below. But further ado, let's get into the video and preview of Croatia for the Euros. Now we have to start with the bad news first. And the bad news first is Croatia's record at Euros is not the greatest. They have never played, and here's the stat, people, they have never played a 5th game. They've made it to the round of 16 twice. They've made it to the quarterfinals twice. They have never made it to a 5th game. Sounding like Mexico in the World Cup for the last 4 decades.
Yeah.
So what's sort of the... I know like Euro 2008 was a weird one. Turkey, last minute equalizer, extra time, then it goes to penalties.
Listen, Turkey 2008 isn't ever mentioned in Croatia, and if it is, I think you get the death penalty.
What's sort of the mindset then for Croatians heading into these Euros? You still got a great team, absolute great team, but is there that sort of back in the mind of we don't really perform at Euros? If this is World Cup, we're having a different conversation. So what's your mindset heading into these Euros?
With Croatia, it's always, you gotta hold back a bit, especially when you see the group. I mean, Italy, Spain, we're again similar group to what we had in 2012. Both of them then played in the final again, and we gave them good games. We even got a point off Italy, and just lost to Spain. But regularly going into the Euros, you always have that 2008 in your head. You have that 2012 that you played great against the finalists, but couldn't do much. 2016 lost against Portugal in extra time, where we were the better side most of the game, missed a lot of chances. 2021 playing against Spain, that was kind of a game where we had nothing and then just turned on in the last 5 minutes to make that comeback. But in the end, extra time wasn't beautiful, was it? But nope. Regularly the Euros for us aren't. It's a great feeling to have before it, but it's not the World Cup because before the Qatar World Cup we were all like, well, maybe we can do it again. You never know. Maybe we can get to the semifinals, but when you're at the Euros, it's like, we're still hyped, but I mean, let's just get to that 6th game for once.
5th game.
Yeah.
Maybe just get to the quarterfinals this time around. But is there like a different mindset that the squad has then compared to World Cups? Because in the World Cups, you guys are just motivated, never die attitude. But in Euros, it just maybe doesn't seem like it's the same mindset in a way.
I don't think it really matters. I think it's more of a, for some reason, we always seem to like gel in the right time before a World Cup. We always seem to like really get it spot on. I mean, 2018, we were spot on every single game. Last Euros, in between the two very good World Cups, we had a draw against lost to England in one of the worst performances I ever saw in that first game. And then you didn't play good against Czechia, you got a point. Then you played a great match against Scotland, won that, and then Spain, same thing. So for some reason, we just lack that something, just to find that key that can make us turn on and everybody to be on form for the Euros. We're just missing that, which was available at the last 2 World Cups.
Zlatko Dalić now is the longest serving manager in Croatian football history. I mean, what a manager! I mean, I'm shocked at how well he has done. Almost won the Nations League, which you guys should have won. World Cup final, third place. Yeah, should have. But what makes him such a great manager, and what makes him the longest serving manager in Croatian football history? Is it his tactics, man management? What makes Zlatko Dalić great?
Man management, straight out the gate. Tactics, it's just you just put the players where they need to be, and you hope they do the job. But you amplify that by being a man manager, which he absolutely is. And on top of that, you have Modric, who is also. I watched that. I don't know if you saw that Captain's documentary. Was it? Yeah. I mean, Luka is just also a great captain, and also just is basically a reflection of Dalić in a sense, where he also talks to the players, also gets them hyped, gets them. I mean, makes them learn from their mistakes, which he did in that documentary with Livakovic, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So I mean, Dalić is absolutely a man manager. That's where I'm going. Yeah, I mean, in 2018 when we got to the World Cup, it wasn't a good state because we had to go through the playoffs and we didn't have a good qualifying campaign. But he just man managed that squad, and we just turned up, and I mean, we got to the final.
You've had previous managers like Bilic, who I really liked Bilic a lot, but something about Dalić, there's almost an aura in a way where he just commands
it
sort of
absolutely
respect.
is. It's very similar to Ancelotti's Real Madrid,
Mm.
right? You don't need that. Like the tactics are another part of the story. Man management, get those players happy, get those players like a family, which is a hashtag we have. But when we're playing in big tournaments, it really does look like a family. That just works fantastic.
Is this midfield going to still perform at the highest level? One last time with Modric, Brozovic, Kovacic.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how do you look at your midfield compared to Spain's midfield? Because they got Rodri, they got Pedri, they got ballers. Look at Italy, they got Jorginho, obviously Cristante, Locatelli, Barella. Are you worried still about your midfield, or you're just like, you know what, this is our creme de la creme. This is the masterpiece of Croatian football as a midfield, and I have zero worries about them because, I mean, this is going to be Modric's last tournament, right, with Croatia?
I mean, it should be. It's been reported many times that it should be, but I mean, the guy wants to go another year at Real Madrid. They're not offering him a contract, but from what I saw from the latest reports. So, I mean, the guy's, I wouldn't call him mad in the head, but just way too good for himself.
Mm.
But to answer your question, yes, I am absolutely not worried about our team, about our midfield. It is the best thing in that lineup. You see the defense, it's okay. Gvardiol, especially now, it's very good. It's gone from okay to very good with Gvardiol and Stanisic, for example, who's done very great at Bayer Leverkusen. But then you look at that midfield. I mean, even though Brozovic is playing in Saudi Arabia, he's still Brozovic. He ate a kilogram of meat and drank a lot of Coke before, I forgot which game in the World Cup, in the 2018 World Cup, and he still ran the most the most kilometers in the history of the World Cup. He smokes cigars, doesn't care. It's Brozovic. I don't think if he didn't even play before this tournament, I think he's still would have probably ran the most kilometers in a game. He might even run the most kilometers in the tournament. But and then we have Kovacic, who's at this season at City is amazing. Same thing as for Gvardiol, Pep. And I always thought that Kovacic would be a great asset to a Pep side because he just suits that Pep style. He just suits his style, and that's absolutely been proven. So I think he's also taken a step up. Luka is already and still is somehow at 38, soon to be 39, at that level. And Brozovic, as I said, just stays on that level constantly, no matter what.
If you're going to tell me, Croatia don't have a good midfield, you're smoking crack. That's what you do. You're smoking crack.
Absolutely.
No, like Croatia's midfield that can definitely compete against Spain. It can definitely be better than Italy's midfield, and it's definitely better than Albania's midfield. So if I'm Croatian, where do you win most of your games? The midfield. And if they're still clicking and still playing at the highest level, yes, people could say, oh, Brozovic went to Saudi Arabia, this and that. It's not a good league. He's still performing. It doesn't matter. You told me he drinks a can of Coke or a liter of Coke or 10 liters of Coke, 2 kilograms of meat, and he'll still ball out. That's what you call a pure footballer. And that's what Brozovic is, pure footballer. And all of those guys are pure footballers. But like you said, defensively, you guys are good. I mean, the forward line will always be the talking point with Croatia. Yeah. Always be the talking point. What would be your front three then?
See, this is actually back. Yeah, Perisic is back. He started a game this past weekend for Hajduk, so that's great. He started a game, played 60 minutes, so that's promising. I think we'll see more of him in the friendlies. That's kind of where you can really judge him, if he can really play a full game or at least most of the game. But I mean, this is a discussion I've been having with a few friends on Twitter, and I mean anybody that's around the Croatian national team. Should we start 2 strikers? I don't know, because it's a difficult position for us. You obviously have Budimir, which you already mentioned. We have Petkovic, we have Kramaric, and Kramaric mostly plays as a right winger, but more of an inside forward that just cuts in and, I mean, is mostly behind the striker in that kind of sense. But maybe we should try like 2 natural wingers. Problem is we don't really have a natural right winger except Marko Pašalić, who's a Rijeka player in the Croatian First League. So that's an experiment that we need to try, I think, in one of the 2 friendlies, especially against Macedonia, which I think is probably going to be the experimentation game where you try something just to see if it can help in any kind of way. So I do think we'll probably stick to what we got, and that's probably Perisic, and then our striker, I hope Petkovic starts, but then if obviously things get heavy and just not good, you can pull in Budimir, you can pull in Musa if he gets a call-up, especially now with the 26-man squad. And on the right wing, it's either Pašalić or Kramaric.
So why would you not start Budimir then? Is it because Petkovic has shown up in the big games for Croatia?
Well, he's shown up and he just suits us more. Budimir has obviously not played a lot, and he's right now coming off an injury, so we still don't know if he's really fit. He was on the bench, I think, this past weekend for Osasuna, so that's promising as well. So we'll see, because the end of the season is here, so I hope he at least plays some minutes.
Yeah, but he's got 16 goals in La Liga. He's one of the top goal scorers, which is crazy. Budimir, of all players. If people don't know, I have been roasting Budimir for years and years and years. And all of a sudden now, he's in contention to start, which is pretty crazy to me.
He's good. Okay, he's not fantastic. He's not world class.
Yeah.
He does his job. You swing on the crosses and you hope he just heads one of them in.
That's his main goal as a striker, really. Just get the goals. Just like Petkovic. Yeah. Maybe Petkovic is not the most beautiful in the eye, but his hold-up play and just being at the right moment.
He's very reminiscent to me of Harry Kane, just obviously not at that level, sadly. But on his day, he can be.
Oh my God. Could you imagine if a Harry Kane level striker was for this Croatian team? Oh my God. Why can't you guys develop good attackers? You have great defenders in Gvardiol. You have great midfielders. Where's the attack?
And the left backs. We need left backs also.
Not Sosa anymore?
I mean, Sosa's good, but he hasn't played for Ajax.
Yeah, that's the problem. He doesn't have a lot of minutes.
I'm repping the Bob Marley Ajax kid, but he's not played loads of minutes for them, sadly. And Borna Barisic is also not doing great for Rangers.
I mean, talk about Gvardiol. I mean, he did struggle at the beginning of this season, though. He didn't get a lot of minutes, and people were calling him. I mean, I don't really follow a lot of Premier League content, but I just saw some people like, "Oh, flop! This guy's a waste of money. Oh, what is this?" You have to give players times. Yeah, same thing for Kovacic. But Gvardiol, now all of a sudden, he's a playmaker. He's a goal scorer. Yeah. This is so. Is he going to play?
He scored 5 goals.
Is he going to be center back or left back then? Do you think for Croatia, center back? Sure.
I hope center back. I honestly hope, just for our defense, because seeing Gvardiol in the defense with Šutalo probably means a lot, because both of them are great on the ball.
Yep.
But as I just mentioned, our left backs are not doing great. So and I hope we don't see him at left back, but realistically, I think we're probably going to see him at left back.
Have you seen him this good though? Because how I'm seeing him play right now, this is unreal.
No.
How he's playing.
No, absolutely unreal. I mean, I watched both of the games against Real Madrid from City. I mean, he's just amazing. I also don't follow the Prem as much. I just see the highlights when I can. But I mean, scoring 2 goals. Could have gotten a hat trick if he got the penalty, but he's the third best goal scorer since April for City. He scored 5 goals since the start of April. Joško Gvardiol.
Oh my God! What the heck? And they're right-footed goals as well. They're not only left-footed.
Yeah, no. I do not understand. He also had a similar run. The goal against Fulham. That he basically did most of himself. That very much reminded me of a chance he had against Scotland in 2021. Basically, just ran through them. and his finish was not up to par, which this time it was. So hopefully he does that same thing against Spain or
Maybe.
Italy.
Or Albania.
I mean, I hope we can deal with Albania with the attackers.
Yes, you would think so with the quality you have in your
We can
midfield
hope.
and your attack. Now the group stage. This is a tough group though. Like
Yeah.
I know you haven't really mentioned Albania. They're not an easy team. They're actually
absolutely.
and when I was doing the preview for Albania, shout out to Aldi, he said that this is the first ever matchup between Croatia and Albania, which I found
It is.
crazy. So that's going to
is.
be, I think, a very not really emotional, but maybe heated game. Balkans, man. It's always a lovely matchup, as I would say as a neutral. It's always lovely. So, are you worried with this group?
I've been thinking about the groups ever since it got drawn. I'm more worried about Albania because I know what to expect from Spain. We just played them in the Nations League final. I know what to expect from Italy. What can I expect from Albania against us? Will they play to our weaknesses, or will we show our weaknesses? Will they be able to play just to expose us, or will we be able to expose them? Which we can't really know because we never played a single game.
And what about Italy and Spain then? Where do you think you will struggle the most against those two sides?
Where will we struggle? Scoring goals. that's where we struggle normally. But just I think creating chances is one of our biggest issues. Getting to the final third is not an issue. We can hold the ball at the final third, but creating something out of that is a big issue, and especially when you have the likes of Rodri in Spain. I mean, it's hard to get to that final third, but I as I said, I'm more worried about Albania because I kind of see this group panning out the same way that our World Cup group did. First game is just a boring game, just 2 chances max. Spain.
Oh yeah, that game against Morocco was terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
Terrible.
Two chances max, and that's all you get. If you don't score them, you don't. And then Albania, you gotta destroy them as you did with Canada. And the final game is just let's get through this.
Yeah, so it's Italy in the final game. So
yeah,
realistically, 4 points will be enough to progress to the round of 16. Yeah. So I think that's sort of the aim that you guys have to have is beat Albania and draw with either one of Italy or Spain. But it's possible. So how far do you think then Croatia can go in this Euros? Have you kind of done a bracket? Have you looked at this far?
Yeah, please. I have. Quarterfinals, I hope. Because the problem with Croatia is we either underperform or overperform. In the World Cups, we've overperformed. In the Euros, we have underperformed. Whenever we got to that, as you said, that fourth game, that first knockout game, we just don't do it. We're just missing that something for some reason that we have in the World Cup.
Like Croatia are the most difficult team, I think, to read at this Euros. One of the most difficult teams because everybody will just assume that, you guys make it to a semifinal of a World Cup, win the bronze medal. You guys should be making to the semis of a Euros. Yeah. But it's not always the case, especially with Croatia, because it just seems like we've alluded a lot into this in this video is you perform very well World Cup, down at the Euros. Back up again to the World Cup and down to the Euros. So if this trend is continuing, then it's going to be another round of 16 exit. And that's what I'm predicting, another round of 16 exit. Until you guys can show me that we can get to that fifth match, we can make it to a quarterfinal, then I'll believe. But I don't know. It's just something about Croatian football that I love it as well, but it's also frustrating because I feel like you guys have the, and I'm pretty sure you as a Croatian must feel very frustrated.
You don't have to tell me. we make situations so much tougher for ourselves. I don't know if you saw our qualifying campaign.
I know. Oh my God.
We always make it tough. For some reason, we just gotta lose 2 games minimum. Just lose 2 games and be like, we're entering the last game and we're like, are we gonna get through this?
It just seems like every qualifiers, by the way, people. Every qualifiers is
every qualifiers. And we gotta stress, are we gonna make it? Are we not? And then we're eventually the last team to make it to the Euros via the automatic qualifications.
See, I think the FA got some sneaky deals with some psychologists. I think that's what's going on here. I think that's what the FA is going on.
Yeah, definitely.
But hey, you know what? I love Croatian football. I always wish the best for them because they always prove people wrong. And I can guarantee you, if somehow in the quarterfinals, I don't know, I haven't really checked a lot into the bracket yet. If it's Croatia versus England, I know exactly what the previews are going to be for that quarterfinal. Oh, England are going to win. They're going to dominate. and then somehow Croatia will upset them. I just know it, but
I hope.
it's a matter of, can Croatia get to that 5th game? That's going to be the key thing for this Euros. Thank you all for watching, and thanks a lot to Lovre for joining me on today's episode. And of course, people, get your thoughts in the comments down below. How far will Croatia advance at this Euros? Are they going quarterfinal, another round of 16 exit, or could they be surprisingly going home at the group stage? You never know. Or maybe even win it for Modric. As we're counting down the days to the Euros, we have a lot of content coming through. So if you want more European content, and of course, check out the Copa America playlist as well. This is the channel to be, so subscribe if you're new around here. Remember to hit the like button. We should be getting at least 200 likes. And further ado, have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. And see you in the next episode. Adios.